Good morning. Good morning for me where I am on my end. But for some of our international ladies, it may be the afternoon, or you may even be listening to this in the evening as part of your wind down routine. Whatever part of the day this is for you, I just want to welcome you to the Journey in 10, where we spend about 10 intentional minutes several times a week as a devotional moment to really align our faith and to align with what all that God has for us. So I am your host, Tanisha Woolley. I am a certified life and soul transformation coach, and I just want to invite you into these next few minutes as a sacred pause from everything that may be pulling for your attention right now. This is your opportunity for you just to breathe, take a deep breath, to really just have a moment to center yourself and your heart around a theme that God has given us this month that will really increase our own personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. And that theme this month is the faith in the rebuild. And so we're really on a journey to talk about healing, renewal, and divine alignment and preparation as we're moving into the end of the year and the beautiful, glorious year of 2026. So, wherever you are this moment listening, or at this moment listening to this devotional episode, I want you to just reframe your mindset to a place of rebuilding or resetting from the inside out. And today we're going to get into what it looks like to have peace in the pause. And our anchor scripture for today is Psalms 23 and 2. So when you're thinking about peace in the pause, I think about there's always this stillness before every resurrection or renewal. There's always a quiet pause before every breakthrough. And in a world that really rewards productivity, I think we've made rest feel like a point of guilt. And when we are in the middle of a pause, most of the times when we're in this mindset of not doing much or slowing down and we feel this guilty sense about it, it often feels like punishment. But I want to help us reframe in this moment the idea of pausing and resting, not as punishment, but as preparation. Because Psalms 23 and 2 reminds us that He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. And I don't know about you, but when I read that scripture, there is a sense of calmness that comes over my soul. And I want you to just let those words settle in for just a bit. And the idea around this concept that God restores. So it's not you that has to do the restoring. It's not your hustle that will restore. It's not your checklist. It's really God who will restore your soul in the middle of a pause or a rest. So if you are in a season where you feel like nothing is moving, where the doors that you would like to open are not opening. Maybe there is a promotion that you're waiting on at work. Maybe there is something that you've been praying and asking God about and seeking clarity about, and it just has not arrived yet. I want you to center in the hope that It might not be just a delay. It might be God's way of strategically and divinely aligning you to what He has next for you. And the beautiful part of that is that God does not rush creating a masterpiece. And you, beloved, are not on a timer. What is happening is that you are on God's timeline that He has custom designed for your healing and for your next season. So I want to encourage you today to lean into the rest. If this is a season of a rest, of quietness, and you feel like you're on a pause, I want you to lean into that. I want you to just reflect. Reflect on where God has brought you from. Reflect on where you want to go. Reflect on the things or the skill set, the character traits, those things that God may still be developing in you so that you will be ready when the next season comes. I want you to focus on rebuilding. I want you to focus on slowness. I want you to focus on being intentional and really connecting with your own soul so that in this next season, it is truly aligned with the woman that you're becoming and the goals that you're working towards. And it's something that it feels like you and God are doing together. Because what God is doing in you during this pause is He's preparing you again for what's coming next. And He's not only preparing you for what's coming next, He's preparing you for what's coming through you and how He will use you in the next season. So please don't confuse the quietness of this season with God being absent, because His voice often whispers in the stillness. And that's when He is sharing the most important parts of our story with us. And His presence will not stop. It will not leave you. It will continue to be with you. So I want to encourage you just to trust wholeheartedly in this moment and just lean into the direction of where the rest is taking you. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel like this is something out of body. This is something that I don't normally do. I feel weird. But I want you to lean into that weirdness in this season and just see what comes out of you embracing this season of rest. So if today's message spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this episode so that another woman can also be touched by this message, and maybe it will stir something up in her about her own season of rest and where God is calling her to focus in this season. You can catch all the episodes of the Faith in the Rebuild series right here on Purposely Made Life on this channel. And then I also want you guys to go and download the reflection guide at purposelymadelife.com. And I want you to remember that rebuilding is not rushing to be whole again. It's about letting God do the quiet work inside of us to restore our souls. So if you want to continue to be on your Faith in the Rebuild journey, I definitely want to encourage you to stay tuned all month long here in November, because we are going to dive into some really cool topics. And so I want you to just come along the journey and bring a friend with you. Until the next time, I'll see you on the journey in 10, and I want us to continue to rise faithfully, intentionally, and on purpose. Today, make sure you go out and you live out loud and you live on purpose.